have a motion and a second to adopt the agenda. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Motion carried. You got a copy of the minutes in your packet. Item number 2 is approve the minutes of January 9th, 2012. We have a motion. Make a motion, please.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Motion carried. Item number 3 is Curry County 911 Board request.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I know most of you here, I'm the Chief of the Police Department, I'm the Chairman of the 911 District Board there. We have, I got some information sent out to you, Ms. Rice had sent out regarding the financially at-risk situation that the district has encountered this past year. We had to go down February the 2nd, meet with the state board, the TCB, and they have, of course, like I say, deemed us at risk. Once we're at risk, they kind of put they do put your financial statements, etc., audits and things like that, kind of under the microscope to kind of see what the problem might be. They had found out during this process, was able to show that in 2006 the county had reduced its funding over the prior year, and they asked for a rate increase. The district did in 2005, and they were awarded the district the rate increase on the surcharge. And part of that being approved was that the county and the city, what they would classify as the local municipalities or the local governments, would not decrease their funding. It was established on the prior year. They had to do the projections, and I think all that might have been included in your packet in there. Essentially what we're looking at is they view their state attorney views that, and the board down there views that as if the county, if they increase the rate charge, they approve the rate increase on the landlines, and the county or the city drops off their funding, they consider that to be the backdoor tax. That's their verbiage, that's not ours. That's what they told us, what we were talking about. Anyway, having gone down there, they said that they do reserve the right, and you may have the AG's opinion in there about those folks having the authority to reduce and rescind that rate increase. Basically what they've done in 2005 was increased it from 65 cents to $1.50 on residential, and from $2 to $3 on commercial landlines. And again, I get to go down and show calls to the folks down there that we were going to come to you guys and try to get this stuff, get this funding issue resolved. Essentially what we're looking at is from 2006 to present date, the funding has remained level, and they are looking to have that amount of money recouped. I got clarification from Curtis Sutton, their attorney, that it needs to be in the full amount. We had to appear back before the board on May the 17th. At that point in time, we had to tell them what the decision of the committee and the full commission will be on that. Again, just to reiterate, it's lowered the amount of money that was projected out. That was the reason they granted the increase was reduced in 2006. When that reduction happened, it was by policy supposed to be brought up. At that point, it wasn't, however, so it was brought out whenever we started doing this, looking at our financial statements when we became at risk. I'd be happy to answer any questions you guys might have. I've talked with a couple of you there about it. But again, this is something they're doing. There's just not an option. It has to be done. And this is from this fiscal year. This has to be reinstated now. Has nothing. Again, I was brought up before down there at the meeting that this is two different situations we're looking at. This has to be done and corrected now, and then this has nothing to do with the future, what we're going to be asking for, or whatever might be asked for in the future as far as regular budget. So they do have the authority to rescind that, and I'll assure you if they rescind that, then the district is going to be in severe financial straits. We're looking to lose about $200,000 just in that surcharge annually, not including. They also reserve the right to take away the recurring operation funding, which is another $200,000. So in essence, we're looking at $24,000 to bring up total, bring that up to current to save essentially $400,000. So again, this is something they're pushing on us. They back it by statute, by policy. We can't bury our head in the sand on this thing, because they'll come back and rescind that. So that are adamant that we come and do this, and they didn't have to give us this opportunity to come to you guys to report back to them. They could have done it right away because it's there in writing that it was done. So, and I'll be happy to answer any questions you may have. Yes, sir.
It's $24,282 what you need?
I'm sorry, I didn't understand you.
$24,228 is that what you need?
That is correct, to make it current. That's over for a 6-year period.
For how long?
That covers up the shortfall for over a 6-year period, 2006 to present day. That's based on the $4,000, just over $4,000 average.
Back in '05 or '06, it was, we cut all outside
I
agencies,
remember that, yeah.
by so much percent, whatever it was. Their cut was $4,000 some dollars. Now they're saying we need to, that we weren't legally allowed to cut them, is that right?
That's correct, sir. And you couldn't reduce it once they based that, the projections, that the rate increase is based on the projections that was out there. And it's not, it violates policy 14 of the state. It's reduced from local government.
I have another question. If we don't vote this, what's going to happen?
I'm sorry, I didn't hear you.
If we don't vote this, what's going to happen?
Then we'll go back to May 17th down there in Nashville, and they more than likely will rescind the rate increase, and we'll lose about $200,000 initially, and then potentially lose $400,000.
Okay, let me go back again. The 24,000 you need now, then what would be for when you make a new budget? What, that would be the same thing?
No, sir. It's going to be, that'll be addressed at that point in time. I don't have the exact amount of money that will be asked for at that point. All this is doing is making up the gap where it dropped off in 2006 back to present day. They show this as being owed a deficit, a shortfall from the local government.
Okay.
Again, it's two separate issues on the fund.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes, sir.
as I understand it, this error occurred on the part of the county commission. Irrespective of reason, it was something that was not legally in the right. So bottom line, Coach, you're going to have to go ahead and make up this monies now just to correct this wrong to protect the 911 agency in its current status.
The surcharge.
And then they'll come back later with whatever requirements that they deem necessary during the budget process. But it looks as if reviewing the correspondence, looking at the state council as well as Ms. Rice, you don't have a choice in this. I mean, it's something that needs to be done.
Anyone else have a question?
I make a motion, please. Fund that.
From,
You want to take it out of the fund? $24,228.
from the funds out. Okay, we have a motion to fund the $24,228 now. And need a second. Second. Have a second. Any other discussion?
Now, this coming budget, everything being the same as we got this year, then we will increase our budget $4,000 some to take up like.
No, sir, that's just making up, again, two different issues. That is just to correct what's happened since 2006.
Right.
This has nothing to do with the upcoming fiscal year's request.
Good. Now, what kind of legal obligation are we under?
As in, I'll yield to Ms. Rice on that, but it's
legal obligation in terms of funding this request. Mr. Bowers, the state board, the Tennessee Emergency Communications Board, of course, governs the Carter County 911 district, and they, of course, have mandates that we are required to meet. We all have people that we answer to, and that is the ultimate supervising agency for the 911 districts here as far as the state policy and state requirements go. In terms of the legal obligation, our obligation is to go back to Nashville on May 17th and assure the state board of directors that we have obtained this funding shortage dating back to 2005. If we fail to do that, they will, I was there at the February 2nd meeting that Chairman Bailey referenced. There's little doubt in my mind that they will cut the landline surcharges and restore us back to the pre-2005 rates. If they do that, that's going to result in a reduction of $209,000 in funding that is derived through landline taxes to residential and business phone lines here in the county. There's little doubt again in my mind that they will in fact effectuate that cut. It violates state policy in terms of the Tennessee Emergency Communications Board requirements if they approve a rate increase at the request of the district and then the county reduces funding. Chairman Bailey explained, and I think it's made clear in the packet that I forwarded to you a couple of weeks ago, that is basically backdoor tax and something that is, I guess, somewhat illegal and improper under the policies of the state board.
Well, what I was asking, we signed an agreement sometime in the past? Did we? Do you have a copy of
An
it?
agreement?
To fund $80,000 and some dollars?
That was an original funding request back in pre-2005. The funding requirements, I think, over the history of 911 have varied depending on the amount that was requested, and as 911 obligations have grown, the call volume has increased, they've had to add dispatchers and the funding increase has gone up. And then it was cut, as you pointed out, in 2004 or 5 based on an across-the-board cut. But since we get those state landline surcharges, you really weren't authorized to do that under the state guidelines. And that again comes from the comptroller's office as well, the state comptroller's office.
But at some time in the past, the county, I guess when 911 was first established, did we agreed to fund X amount?
Yes, the referendum originally, I believe, when 911 was voted in on the ballot when it was originally created, it was created with a certain amount of funding from the county and a certain amount of funding from the city. That is correct.
And over the past years, during budget time, it's been stated that when 911 was first established, we were to provide these funds, I don't know, for a set amount of time, and then 911 was to become self-sufficient through their charges for the landlines, whatever.
No, not actually. I don't think there's any requirement that 911 be self-sufficient. I'm not aware of any statewide district, unless Director Blevins can help us on that. I don't think there's...
dispatcher services, will never be self-sufficient.
No, there is an expectation in these guidelines from the state board that we have reviewed that basically requires that the county and the city assist in funding the dispatching services. What the state operating funds and the surcharges go for technically are administrative costs and actually funding the 911 facility. Dispatching services are directed more and to be expected under the financial policies of the state by the city and the county.
And the consequences of not funding is that you all will lose money from the state.
We will lose a lot of money from the state, and it will hurt the citizens of this county in terms of their 911 services. Obviously, a financial hit of that magnitude is going to dramatically affect any entity, and particularly a governmental entity like us. We are not set up to collect revenue independent of city and county funding requests or the state surcharges. We have no mechanism by which to make our own money, so we would never be self-sufficient.
Any other questions? Comments? We have a motion and a second to fund $24,128 as requested.
Fix the amount where it's been cut down. Since you're going to take it back, we cut that funding. Would this not be the appropriate time to go ahead and put that funding back, because you're still going to be out of line, although you go back down there with this $24,000 approved, if it's mandated by the state?
I think that would be time to do that at budget workshop.
I think this now fixes it for now.
So if what I gets right, they're gonna come back during the budget workshop time and ask for quite a bit more.
That's gonna be in addition to this right here.
Yes.
You're mandated by the state. You've gotta fix it sooner or later. It would be good when they go down there if you go ahead and have that fixed now, I would think.
We have a motion and a second. Question on the motion.
Lawrence Hodge,
Aye.
Nancy Brown, Tom Bowers,
No,
Bill Armstrong,
Yes,
Charlie Bayless,
Aye.
Steve Chambers,
Aye.
Scott Sims, Harry Sis,
Aye.
7-1, motion carried.
That take care of it. I think